To round 2 of the RLH GT Sport Season 6 Championship, and of course we're in the Super Formula cars like we were last week in Circuit of Barcelona, Catalonia, and this week we've made the short trip to France, racing at the Circuit de Sainte-Croix and the B circuit in reverse. And M Short, championship leader, currently leading us around the track. All the cars out on their formation. That's a 15-minute qualifying session for these guys in the Pro Tier, and I'm sure just about to start his lap, and I was sort of hoping he was going to be at the front of the field. I want to go on board. I did a few laps of the circuit earlier on, and actually he's ducking into the pit lane. He's ducking into the pit lane. They're all ducking into the pit lane. SMJT will be leading us around then. I'll go on board with the person at the front because it's a very, very difficult circuit, very high speed, making his way through turn 1 now. The run towards turn 2, 3 and 4, it's very high speed, change of direction here, flat out through the first part, big elevation change just on the exit of turn 2 as well, and still we're flat out all the way from that first corner, and we dive down in towards turn 5, blind apex because of that barrier, and you want to run wide without hitting the grass here. The barriers are very close to the track, and if you get off circuit it's very easy to hit the barriers, and of course we saw last week damage playing a bit of a part in the race, so we have to keep an eye on that later on as well. As you see now on the back straight, and it is really, really brilliant turn 7, almost flat out, drops it down to 5th gear, keeps a nice tight line, and that's a very difficult corner because it's so you see it so late. It's such a a late point, but pretty much as you see the corner, that's where you start to brake. And now over the bridge, one of the main features on this track, on the mountains to the right hand side. We're on the run now down towards turn number 9, almost at 280 kilometers an hour, and again another blind corner, the track dropping away towards the apex, and now there's sort of another little flat out section as we make our way through the 10 and 11, and then you get to the next sector just before the corner, and again it's another corner, you just can't see that inside curve until very, very late, using the exit curve as well, and now flat out towards the last corner. The last corner is definitely a corner you can explore. You might see drivers picking up the time penalty, so you can see on the inside that sort of painted curve, if you take a bit too much you could be penalised. But SMJT coming now to finish the first lap, can't dancing into the pit lane just by SMJT goes on to provisional pole, 1 minute 42.47. See who further back, saying that Wesley set a time for P2, make that third because Ronnie Karma has put himself in between Wesley and SMJT. And all these guys, well, maybe coming in to do a new set of tyres, but here goes into P5 as well. I think now Fretti says 1 minute 53. I think she's going to acclimatise with that lap time, but M Short and RLH Shorts, both of them on their flying laps now, both of the Roll Centre cars will be pushing this lap. Timmy sets a time for P7. A bit of overtake on the run down towards the flat out turn 6. We're going to see how the Roll Centre cars take this on the super soft tyres, of course, qualifying. Can he go flat out? Not for a bit of a lift, does drop into 5th as well, and utilising all the track and a bit of contact with that outside wall. We'll see where the two Roll Centre cars feed into. Of course, currently first and third in the championship, topping the constructors, and after a very, very strong round in Spain. And there might be a bit of a slipstream from the train just up the road as well. Just coming towards the end of that. We just see if everyone in front decides to come into the pit lane, or they do 2 push laps on each set of tyres. We've got a lot of time left in this session, just under 10 minutes to go. Very aggressive corner there from the cars 2 up, but keeping well away from the paint, using all the exit curb. Teammate does exactly the same thing, and M Short puts himself into P7 at the moment. Shorts, where will he go? He goes into P3, but he's looking very, very close at the moment. You must say, and M Short currently 1.7 seconds off the lead to the top 8, not separated by a lot. It's a long lap here, 7.062 kilometres. So SMJT going again, a little bit down on that last lap. Did a 1:42.4, then a 1:42.6. Timmy Turtle sets a personal best time. I think that's good enough for P9 at the moment. Who is just making their way at the top of the screen? Is that Fretty? I think it is. I want to see what time he does. I think he's just on in lap at the moment. Judging by the fact that he's 47 seconds off his previous personal best. Atomic, is he on a flying lap? It looks like he might be. But I think he was the car that pulled into the pit lane at the end of the first run. 1:2. From top of what I can remember, that seems pretty decent through the first split. Teamed up with Bruma. Oh, and a bit of contact with the wall on the inside there as he makes his way up towards turn number 12. On the very difficult corners, getting on that inside curve, but actually judges it very perfectly, carrying a lot of speed through there. And we'll see what he can do now as he runs towards the final corner. Not a lot of work left to do with a high-speed corner. You know, you can definitely separate the winners and the losers here. Not utilising all the exit and actually coming into the pit lane. After all that, Phil doing exactly the same. Wesley doing that as well. So the two roll center cars, what's interesting is he's doing still going around SMJT, so not sure what his plans are. I think he comes to pit lane on that last lap. I don't think quite improved as we want to. So his first sector split, he is going to look, or his second sector split. I think he's 4 tenths down at the moment, so not finding the time he'd be wanting to. Bruma though, personal best through that first split, and he's 2 tenths down as he goes through the next one, losing a bit of time on the straight. You can see those soft tyres starting to fall away, but interesting enough, some drivers opting for the soft tyres rather than the super softs, wanting that, you know, not as much fall away, but do fall away quite quickly. We saw that last week as well in Spain. A lot from the tyres, was like, you know, turn 7, turn 5, quick changes through 2 to 4. Maybe that's just why some of the guys are opting for that soft compound tyre. Right, Karma getting into P2 at the moment, but that's a very good lap from him. And then who's at the front? Try and find who's up at the top, and it is Fretty, just about to finish his flying lap, and he goes into P10. Slowly making little improvements. I think he was unable to join practice at the moment. I'm sure he'll be up to speed very, very quickly indeed. Who's at the front of that train? SMT about to start the final lap again. Those tyres just look a little bit too worn for my liking. The two Manacars out in front here, a bit of towing going on here. We'll see what can he make on in improvements as he makes his way towards the second split. It's going to get maybe a little bit of a tow. His teammate in front. And through the kink of 6. We get the tyre grip to survive through the next part. The split is 4 tenths down still, so it's very consistently the low 43s at the moment. Taking turn 7 very nicely into utilising 5th gear quite well. And Timmy sets a personal best. Mejia has personal best for P6 as well. So just behind the cars. Bruma on an outlap at the moment. Short's personal best through that first split. We'll see what we can do in the next part. And he's almost 2 tenths up. We've got Wesley right behind him. He's getting a lovely tow now into turn 7. Drops into 5th gear, and can he keep it out of the wall? And that's very nicely judged from the roll centre driver. And down into the very, very difficult turn 8. See the corner so late. And we could see some good battles into there if anyone makes a mistake through that turn number 7. Now the run still found a little bit of time in that third split, and now as he makes his way in towards turn 9. And a quick kink of 10, and then back for 11. We'll see what Shores can do on this flying lap. His 6th lap at the moment, currently at 1 minute 43.35. And losing a little bit of time there. I think Wesley's actually gaining massively from this, having such a quick driver in front of him. But you know, it's allowing him to keep the tow though, and not close up too much throughout this lap. So I think Short's going to find a little bit of improvement. Maybe not enough to challenge Bruma up in front, but it's Atomic. It's a 1 minute 41.8. What a lap time! The times are tumbling now. Phil goes up into P4. Wesley does improve to what would have been provisional pole, but it's a fantastic time from Atomic, and I'm going to be honest, that was out of absolutely nowhere. From Atomic, he's 6/10 clear of Wesley, the first person into the 41s. I mean, Wesley's lap was very good as well, just getting himself ahead of SMJT. And you see how I think that slipstream definitely helped him throughout the lap from short to currently sits in P6 at the moment. That's a time out of absolutely nowhere for Atomic. And I think just on this cool down lap, just not just having that caught grip that he had a couple of moments ago. Ronnie Karma just starting his laps, and I've got a car behind him as well of Mejia. I think that first bit, I don't think he's on a particularly fast lap. See how Mejia's doing, he's on an out lap. M Short on an out lap, got a bit of ground to make up. I think M Short definitely. Timmy's on an out lap, and Fretti is the same. Cars an out lap and short. Behind Wesley now. I think maybe these guys might be coming into a bit later. Maybe coming into the pits at the end of this lap. We might just have enough time to squeeze in SMTs into the pit lane, but just enough time to put on one more set and get in the mic. And yeah, they'll just get round. So initially, what Atomic decides to do, surely coming into the pit lane, he is a penalty for God knows what. I think we'll just everyone into the pit lane now. Put on some fresh tyres. And one more run at that fastest lap. SMT on the out lap. Phil coming out. Ronnie Karma setting on a lap time now. He's opted for the soft tyres. So once in that longevity, currently in P5, just into the sub 1 minute 43 club. See what he can do now. On towards the final corner. The inside curb he decides to use, a bit of a late curb there, and ducking, staying out. I think he might have realised that there's not really enough time left. Nothing's on, and this will be his final lap. Riley Karma in this session. Of course, Riley Karma 9th last time out, part of Motors 1 Racing. Phil not raced last week, so good, interesting to see where he feeds out towards, but so far looking very strong in qualifying. Definitely one surprise. It's Atomic. I mean, it's a fantastic lap time. 1:41. Came 7th last week, so definitely a bit of a shock, I think, to some of the front runners. I think this track, you know, if you get it right, you can definitely find a lot of time around here. Who is at the front of the train? SMT just about to start his flying lap. He's got overtake, all of the overtake to use, as you see on the bottom right, and using all of it down towards turn number 1. Super speed through there, and that was a moment I thought that was going into the wall, but fantastic speeds there from SMJT. Making his way. Broomer says a 1 minute 40.9. What a time from Broomer. That puts him onto provisional pole. And SMG is going purple in the first set of Fretti. Improves to a 1 minute 44.5. SMG now is purple in the first split. And towards the second one, he needs to find 1.5 seconds on that personal best to try and get into the 1 minute 40s and try and get past Broomer. M Short goes into P6, 1 minute 42.8, but purple again is SMJT. What can he do through turn 7? Very, very late turn in, and that's allowed him to get on the power very early. Very good there from SMJT. Of course, had back-to-back GT Sport Championship wins at RLH, and after a very, very difficult Spain, he'll be looking to try and get a result here, and 5/10 up on that purple time. He's flying at the moment. SMJT, personal best for Mejia. He goes into P5, just getting ahead of Phil. We set that very good lap time a little bit earlier on. But now we're going to see one more split. We've got one more indication of how quick this lap time is going to be. He's using all of overtake, 6/10 up now, and still looking purple is SMJT racing in that FRT Mana GP car towards the final corner now. He's got to give it absolutely everything as he throws it into turn number 14. Drops the overtake but puts it straight back on now. Shortest runs the line, keeping the car as straight as possible. What will the time be? It's a 1 minute 40.2. He finds 6/10 of a second, and wow, that is a quick time. The Atomic's been benefiting from a tow from Fretti in front. What does Atomic do on this lap time? Of course, had the provisional pole time that's been snatched away from him by Broomer and SMJT. Can he get that car into the 1 minute 40s? Overtake towards the line. He's got a bit of a toe as well. And this time will put him, stays where he is, can't improve on this time. Wesley setting a time. Phil does improve. He goes into P4 just ahead of Wesley. What can Wesley do on this final lap? Goes into P3, puts himself on that sort of provisional grid podium. Who else is setting lap times? M short towards the line. Can he improve? I don't think he can, but his teammate goes into P6 and it's difficult for a qualifying session for the championship leader. Anyone setting a lap time? I think that is it. I think that is qualifying done and dusted. And it's SMJT who takes pole position here at the circuit of Sainte-Croix-B, number 2. Also racing the track in reverse. He takes pole position. P2 Bruma, of course, came 4th in the race last time out. Wesley takes P3, and Atomic 4th, Phil 5th, Short 6th, Mahia 7th, M Short 8th. And when it appears again, I'll run through the final couple of cars on the grid for this race time here in France. And it was 9th Roddy Karma, Fretty in 10th, and Timmy just outside the points in P11. But a very competitive qualifying. They got very competitive towards them, but ready for 23 laps around this 7-kilometer circuit. We wait for the lights. Here they are. We have 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Who's got the good start at the front? It looks like Phil has had a very good start, already up in a P4. As they race down towards turn number 1, Bruma has managed to slot ahead of SMJT. Wesley in third. Cars in the wall there in the background. That's a car spinning towards the back line. Bruma's managed to get ahead of SMJT. Wesley still in P3. He's hold station. Phil has managed to get up into P4 as well. And they're flying now through this middle, turn 3 and 4. Bruma holding on to that first place. They drop now into what is really the second braking zone on the circuit. The top 3 off and away. Further back down the order. It looks like the 2 roll center cars dueling away. Hendricks had a very good start, getting a few places. He's just behind his teammate now as they run through turn 6, absolutely flat out. Even on these high fuel loads. And I think who's at the back? It's going to be Mahia who's had a few issues off the start. I think he might be the wall. One hitting that wall, and Short's running a little bit wide, and him Short compromised a bit. Fretty now had a fantastic start from P10. He goes round the outside of last week's race winner. They're going to be side by side now onto the bridge. Looks like Short's battling away with Phil just up the road. They're going to go side by side as they drive now down in towards turn number 9. Who's dares to go latest on the brakes? There's Atomic's trying to get involved. He's the one that's not had a great start. Bruma though, I think it's lost the lead to SMJT up at the front. And into the wall there goes M Short. M Short's into the wall, and they're dueling away further back, almost 4 wide. He's coming out the corner. Roddy Karma's managed to slot himself up in a P6. M Short 7th. And actually, Enzo's lost in the position there just about to Atomic. But it's mega battles at the moment for the final couple of points positions. As the guys getting used to race conditions. Of course, everyone has to use the medium tyres at least once in this race. See SMJT leading the field now. He's managed to get back past Bruma, who had a fantastic start. And Wesley in 3rd. Holding station at the moment. Short has managed to sing his way up in a 4th place. Phil following him closely. He's lost that position down into turn 9 at the end of the bridge because we cut back to everything that was happening behind Atomic. And Riley Karma, the big winners really of that first lap, getting himself into 6th. But I think Atomic actually lost loads of places at the start. Just a couple of places, managed to gain them back. Big winner at sort of that mid-phase of the lap. And Phil running wide, he's spun round. Phil has spun round. And I mean, just about avoiding that was Riley Karma. As Atomic's managed to sneak past, down the inside goes Riley Karma on Phil. And he could be victim of M Short now. As they run down towards the very fast turn 9. Oh, and Phil's running a bit wide. He doesn't seem to be happy on these tyres. Not having the grip he would want, and trying to go around the outside is M Short. He's got them side by side across the bridge. Bit of overtake being used there by the Rolls in the car. He is trying to pick up places as well. Phil under attack at the moment from here, trying to go around the outside. Can he find a way into turn 9? We're side by side. M Short just a little bit ahead of them. It's going to make it a bit difficult for one to break later, but Phil, I think, is going to have to concede that position as they make their way through the very, very fast 11 and 12. They drop down into turn number 12. It is Mejia that keeps his car ahead. Right, it comes under attack from M. Shaw. He's looking at gain places. Looking at gain places throughout this race. Of course, he won last time out. Absolute grand slam for M. Shaw in Barcelona, Catalonia. And Ronnie Karma using a bit of overtake to try and defend. I'm sure it's surely going to be pumped up and looking to try and make progress through the back. And on the top three, SMT starting to control things out front. Once he managed to get back past Bruma, he has built a gap of 3 seconds. And even with sort of the long straights at this track, you know, you thought the slipstream would allow you to keep with the drivers in front. You know, I think SMC's pace just seems to be very, very strong here. Look further back, on sort of the slipstream here. I think M. Shaw's lost a position there to Mejia. Maybe a small mistake there for the Rolls-Royce car. Mejia's actually managed to get past and putting his car up into and M. Shaw into the wall there. Is he going to have damage on that car? Not at the moment. I think we're running reduced damage, light damage here, just because of how sort of harsh the circuit is, especially in comparison to circuits to Barcelona, Catalan. We've got car at the back as well. I think that's Ferretti who's had a moment, just coming onto the bridge in turn 8. As they make their way up towards the top end of the circuit. Here running a little bit wide there, and gives them sure that incentive to try and get past the gap very, very close. Less than 4/10 of a second at the moment. Oh, Mejia running a little bit wide there. I think Memshot did exactly the same thing. They're both pushing, trying to keep ahead and get past. They see the top 5, all separated by less than the main straight. SMC throws his car into turn 1, then Bruma, then Wesley, then Shorts, then Atomic. And further back, we've got a bit of a battle forming as Ronnie Karma under attack from Mejia. They're diving into turn 1. Mejia goes around the outside. Or can he get around the outside? It's very, very close between the pair of them. Ronnie Karma just about holding ahead now, but Mejia down the inside as they go up towards this sharp elevation climb. They're still side by side as they make their way down now towards turn number 5. I think Ronnie Karma just about managed to hold on to that, but M-Shot down the inside. That's a very clinical move from M-Shot. Runs a little bit wide, dips the wheel into the grass. And that's going to put Mejia alongside him. He'll be right in the slipstream now. Less than 1/10 of a second separates these two drivers. And Mejia make a move down into turn 7. Will he pull out? Try and throw a bit more in there. Doesn't look like he's going to hang back for the time being. No, the speed M-Short has. I was looking very, very competitive today. It's actually the two with Riley Karma here, the two Lotus 1 Racing. So the two teammates, M-Shaw's in a bit of a sandwich at the moment of the two teammates. We'll see, we've got to check on what tyres everyone's on. He's on the super soft. We've got M-Shaw on the softs. We know from last time he does prefer that tyre. Much better race tyre in his opinion. We've got Riley Karma on the softs as well. He's setting personal best at the moment. There's Atomic on the softs, Shorts on the softs, softs for Wesley, and super softs for HMT. But I must say they're looking in much better nick than some of the soft drivers. Oh, and there's a big whack in the wall there for Atomic. Very encouraging overtake as well. I think, yeah, look, Riley Karma's almost sort of about 60% utilised here, while M-Shaw is, I mean, we're looking at about 90, maybe 85% for M-Shaw, so definitely a lot more conservative. I think that's maybe why he is sort of where he is at the moment here, sort of in the mid of the two, but looking at a very good run. Oh, maybe thinking about sending down the inside. Will he have the speed to send it down the inside into the next braking zone of turn 5? He's looking to do that, but just hangs back on this occasion. Maybe trying to get a much better exit than M-Shaw. The battle very much is on between 6th and 8th. Actually pulling out this time Mejia. M-Shaw not using overtake to defend. And Mejia does slot ahead of the Roll Centre Racing driver. A bit of a scrape against the wall as well. As M-Shaw drops himself now down into P8. Currently 15.6 seconds off the lead. Atomic getting behind. He's closing up to the back of Shorts. And I said, but still has 1/10 of a penalty to serve. Almost 10 seconds off the lead. Bruno, that gap now up to 4.3. And actually, we did comparison of tyres. I'd say they're pretty much the same between Bruno and SMJT, and the SMJT is on that softer compound. I think maybe he's just preferring the super softs over the softs here this evening. We're 5 laps in, or 6 laps in. Now Wesley pulls the trigger on the pit stop, getting rid of the soft compound tyre. What will he decide to put on? It is a brand new set of super soft tyres. He's going to come out straight away in the battle. Just gets out ahead, and that is crucial for his race. He can now use the new tyres to full effect. Doesn't have to worry about getting involved in the battle for P6, which seems to have been very hotly contested so far in this race. And Phil Starr's not looking too healthy. Very impressive. He's a little bit further back. At the moment, yellow flag though, and that's Roddy Karma who's had a spin. Roddy Karma has spun the car around, and he's lost out on a fantastic P6 position. He had brilliant defensive battles so far, but losing the rear of the car, I think, just coming out of that turn number 5. He's ready to do such high speeds, trying to put the power down as early as possible, such a long straight as well. Now Wesley's on the back of Atomic very quickly. He's dropped back from Shorts quite a bit in recent times. I think he'll be into the pits at the end of this lap. Just see what SMJT does though out front. A big gap. Bruno's got 6.8 seconds behind him, but of course Wesley was in that 6.8. SMJT will he decide to come into the pit lane this time around the final corner, and is going to come into the pits. We'll see what Bruno does just behind. He looks like he's staying out for another lap. Tyres don't looking too bad, Nick. And he's carrying on for at least one more lap to Shorts. Got Wesley now behind him. He's actually got past Atomic, and Atomic coming to pit lane. I think he needed to do that. I think there's here following suit as well. Shorts staying out. Shorts has not got ahead of SMT. SMT is very comfortably in P2, so he's less than 3 seconds behind Bruma. Another set of super softs, so still yet to use that medium tyre. Wesley's put on a set of super softs, so again, not doing that mandatory medium stint. I think one driver was doing that, and it is Timmy. Timmy is on the medium compound tyre at the moment. Ronnie Karma doing exactly the same too, and I think Fretti copying him as well. You can see an interesting battle called P10 forming after Ronnie Karma's unfortunate spin. We get into a bit of a quiet phase during the race. Cars are very close in Spain, but I think just the track being how much longer, almost over 7 kilometres, the same length as pretty much Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. And the guys are getting spread out. A mistake, I think, also a mistake around here just costs you so much time. The straights are pretty long. It's such a high-speed circuit, and if you lose that bit of momentum, it can cost you. For example, if you lose it out of turn 1, it can cost you all the way towards turn 5. Out of turn 5, all the way towards turn 7. And if you lose any momentum sort of at turn 9, it's cost you all the way towards turn 12. I think it's quite a. You can drive aggressively, but it's not. It's not very forgiving. We've seen a few drivers have a few misfortunes, especially on lap 1. So a few cars come through. Bruma deciding to come into the pit. It doesn't look like this time around he's going to come in, but Shorts is coming in. And was he trying to get a bit of a toe there? But he's closed that gap very quickly, and I think those fresh super soft tyres, he definitely looks comfortable on those super softs. You see both roll centres coming in for a brand new set of softs. It's a bit of a tyre difference between some of the drivers. Shorts actually on for the mediums. Where's he gone? Can't find him. There he is. Shorts on the softs. Shorts on the mediums, actually. Couldn't get the right car. And Shorts is gone on to the softs. That's very interesting to see. A bit of a split strategy going on down at Royal Centre, but SMT, a bit of a touch from the wall there for Bruma, and you can see that just losing that momentum all the way up the hill as he breaks into turn number 8, and lost about 0.3 of a second there to SMJT, who's got a much better exit on the much fresher tyres. Really think about a move down into turn 9. He's been late on the brakes. I think maybe just hanging back for the time being. He knows he's got the advantage. He knows he's theoretically ahead at the moment. Maybe Bruma looking to do one less stop in this race. It'll be very interesting to see, but of course, if he is, they're effectively the same point now. SMGC looking to make the move down into turn 12. He's got the inside line. He's a little bit later on the brakes, and he's got the tyre grip as well to keep ahead on the exit. And he moved himself back up into the actual race lead, but of course, pretty much already had the theoretical race lead, as he's already made a pit stop. Wide on the final corner. Bruma staying out once again. I think I've seen him do. We saw him do this, and always just gets a penalty. I did think he was a bit too aggressive through that final corner. But Bruma, I think, did do this quite a bit in the GT3 Pro last season, just running a bit longer, having to do less pit stops, and trying something different with strategy. Wesley in a bit of a lonely race at the moment. Short's currently in P4. Got Atomic not too far behind. So we pitted that a little bit earlier. I think he pitted one lap earlier. Using those tyres to make a bit of an undercut work. Mahia not too far behind. But M Short on those medium tyres, maybe. Of course, they're not an ideal race tyre, I think. They're just a little bit too slow for the driver's liking. To see if Phil can close in. Phil currently on the softs. Battle back separated by 4 seconds of that final points paying position. Something quite closing in on Shorts at the moment. See, there's both of them clipping the wall as they before they turned in. Shorts is getting the much better exit, gaining a bit of time up that hill. And now onto the bridge. I think I should name it. Give the bridge a name. See if I can find a name on the Gran Turismo wiki. But currently holding on to P4 is Shorts. I think Zatomic's having a very strong race. Definitely showed really good signs last week. I think it just sort of his battle towards the front fell away towards the end of the race. It was quite an aggressive race last time out. A lot of overtaking, a lot of bold moves. See if he's going to get closer on the straight. Shorts breaking the toe as they run down towards turn number 1. Shorts has used a little bit more overtake than the Italian behind him. M Short under attack from Phil, and the gap now under half a second. Let's see if Phil. Oh, big snap there from Phil as he just dipped that right rear onto the grass, has slid a little bit too far over the curve, and that's costing him time. Costing a little bit of time, but he's managed to use a bit of a toe to keep with M Short just ahead of him. Tomic still just can't get within half a second after that main straight. I don't think there's a name for the bridge, so we're going to call it the something. I'll figure it out over the next 13 laps. But a few battles forming up and down the pack, coming out the front. SMC after Bruma has come into the pit lane, and onto the medium tyres. He's using that. He's doing that mandatory medium stint in the middle, so maybe a bit of a soft, medium, soft. I think some guys maybe going for a bit of a free stop potentially. We'll see how long Bruma goes in this race. We see 12 seconds between the top two. Of course, SMGT still has to use that medium tyre. The gap very, very big at the moment. Wesley's closing in on Bruma. You just compare the tyre differences down in the bottom left. You can just see that SMGT is going to be forced into the pit lane very, very soon. But Shorts hitting the wall there on the exit of turn 14. Actually sets a personal best lap on that last lap. But Atomic, he picked up a penalty, and that's not what he needed. A little bit too aggressive through the final corner, I think. You have to slow down throughout the lap. Brumi sort of in another driver having a lonely race in P9 at the moment. Fretty and Riley Karma the same. Someone's managed to serve 110 for that penalty and having dropped back 110. So not quite, being able to tactically serve it as such. We'll see. He's managed to, he did very well there actually. If anything, he gained time on Shorts in front as he went into the corner and served 0.4 seconds of that penalty. Shorts in these new tyres is starting to set sort of personal bests at the moment. On the road, I think Broome is managing to pull away from Wesley. Wesley's tyres really falling apart at the front, just not living with it at the moment. He's losing time. You see his second off his personal best as he makes his way into the final sector. Number 99 driver. We'll see if he decides to come into the pit lane and where he feeds out. Surely coming in this lap, and he is. Maybe a set of mediums for Wesley. Maybe looking to go a bit long on this next stint. Yes, he's onto the mediums, and he comes out just behind Zatomic. Of course, Zatomic and Shorts both have to serve their medium tyre stints. We'll see how this battle forms. Will Wesley be able to reel them in on those mediums? Fresh tyres, but of course the slower compound. Looks like he's doing that so far. Bit of a twitch coming out of turn 5. And I think because the track's called or is in Santa Cruz, we'll call it the Crew Santa Cruz. I think that's how you pronounce it. The Crew crossover. That's what we're going to call the bridge. Sure, it's currently sat in P3, but I think that really is Wesley's. Once all the pit stops play out, makes a gap to bring up the road and onto the Crew's crossover. Comes Short, bit of a use of overtake out of the corner. Atomic behind, and she's got a little bit more overtake available to him. Wesley, a little bit more Wesley. He just a little bit more than Wesley, and Short still being very conservative with that overtake button. Maybe looking to use a lot of it towards the end, try and have a big final stint. But SMJT into the pit lane, and as Bruno rounds the final corner, interesting to see what our race leader comes onto. He's onto the medium tyres, so maybe looking to go to the end now on this set of tyres. And with a gap of 7 seconds, or 6.5 seconds. Looking very good at the moment. Broome, of course, on his medium stint right now. He's got a 6-second gap. Looking very, very comfortable up at the front. Shorts still got Atomic behind him. Wesley's only closing a sort of a 10th of a second over that last lap of his first lap on the medium tyres. Here, not too far behind. Those softs are looking a little bit worn. And Shorts still very much got feel for company. Short on his medium stint right now. Maybe looking to just go for an absolute mega stint on a set of softs towards the end. And Phil looking very close, looking very racy. Can't quite find a way past down into turn 5. Those tyres are going to be screeching away. But M Shorts goes wide and he runs onto the dirt. Can he find a way past now? In the next part, and he still gets ahead using a bit of overtake. He's managed to slot his car into P7, and I'm sure Aston will see the place. And last week's race just not going well for last week's race winner so far. I think just not being able to adapt to this very difficult circuit. Sees Atomics has made a bit of a mistake there. He's dropped back from Shorts, losing a lot of time, and Wesley now is less than 0.3 of a second behind him. See what they can do as they drop now down into turn 12. Wesley goes down the inside, and I think Atomic sort of knew that was coming. Bit of a switch from Wesley. Can Atomic fight it back now as they run towards the final corner? I think Atomic might be coming to the pit lane on this lap anyway. And nevertheless, we'll see who comes out top in this battle, and definitely Wesley. Atomic actually not coming into the pit lane on this lap. Evening, Brent, and F0 Gamer. Good evening to both of you. Broome's doing very well. P2, Mahir into the pit lane. Looks like he's going on to his medium stint. He'll be running to the end now. He's actually come out behind Oh, no, he hasn't. He's just about got ahead of Phil. And crucially, I think, just about ahead of Emshaw. So hopefully he'll be looking to put the hammer down, but Phil, can he get another medium running out? Looking to maybe sort of do a bit of a switch back into turn 5. He's going to go clean around the outside in 4, down into turn number 5. Phil has the inside line. Phil gets ahead into P6. He's just going to go racy here this evening on his first race in season 6, but coming straight back at him is Mejia. Got a much better run and almost going clean around the outside. They're still side by side now as they drive down towards turn number 7. Who comes out on top in this? They're pretty much neck and neck, and I think it is Phil is just about going to slot ahead into the wall though on the exit of the corner, and that allows Mejia to get straight back past. I feel almost getting 2 medium runners, but not quite on this occasion. Big support to Wesley as well from FNL Gamer, currently in P3. People he's supporting in 2nd and 3rd, looking to make their way to the rostrum. Of course, it was last time out it was Emshaw, Aries and Shorts, so we're going to have a completely different podium if things stay how they are at the moment. The gap between 4th and 5th looking very close at the moment. Shorts actually coming into the pit lane as Atomic is following him. I think both of them may be going mediums to the end. We'll have to have a look and see in a moment's time here. Just still ahead at the moment. Both of them are on the medium tire. He's got a penalty though of 1 second. Emshaw on the right of the back of Phil. And where the 2 cars come out in relation to this battle, we've got here and Atomic and Shorts have just stayed in the same places they were, but dropped back and have got the battle for P6 not too far behind them. Both of them on the medium tyre, so this could be a battle between them right to the end now. There's Atomic wanting to try and find a way past. Looks like Emshaw's got the run on Phil, and I think he's going to get ahead. Atomic, can he find a way past? He's using overtake now, trying to get past the Roll Centre car. The room of teammate gets ahead as they go down in towards turn number 7. And feeling the effects of the dirty air there. Shorts running a little bit wide. And not taking the line. He would have wanted forward about sending it down the inside as they go over the cruise crossover. Atomic holds on to that place at the moment. But Emshaw's managed to get past Phil. Finally for him. Phil's tired. I think I'm just crying out. That front right especially is not looking pretty at all. And a good battle between these guys for P7. Let's see where will this current order put Emshaw and SMJT. SMJT got P8 last time out, so if things remained as they were, Emshaw would still be 2 points ahead of SMJT. And I think they would be. I think Emshaw would still be leading the championship. Just based on where everybody is. But Shorts in P4. Someone's actually got past him. As we saw, oh yes, we watched that last lap. Into the pit lane comes Phil. I think maybe going to the end on a set of mediums. Or, yes, he is, onto a set of mediums for Phil. Because of course we saw Atomic get past Shorts. Maybe trying to fight this back now. I think the Roll Centre cars just love that soft compound tyres. I think we saw this last week. Just on the, not a big fan of the medium compound. Prefer not to use the super soft ones because it does give you that better pace in qualifying 2 cars in the pit lane. Now towards the back of the field. Shorts wanting to try and close that gap onto Atomic, make sure he doesn't get too far up the road. Emshaw is going to be coming to the pit lane as well before the end of this race, still with sort of 7 laps to go in this Grand Prix. And I think, yeah, with those medium tyres, definitely not going to the end. Phil behind him, it could be an interesting battle when Emshaw comes out of the pit lane. If Phil can sort of close that gap a little bit more on the fresh tyres. Currently on his out lap, of course. Gap 3.8 between them. Very, very deep into turn number 9. It's all settled down at the moment. The closest gap is between Atomic and Shorts. And Shorts actually coming into the pit lane. This is very interesting. He's only recently put the mediums on, but I think it just goes to show they do not like the medium tyre down at Rolston zone. He is ditching them for a set of soft tyres and has lost one position to Mejia. M Shorts into the pit lane. I think we saw that one coming. Interesting where he feeds out in relation to Phil, and Phil has got ahead by quite a bit, but of course M Shorts can be on that who's soft tyres, which we've seen he's very quick on this season already. With Phil improving on these mediums, he's finding time, and as we said, I think M Short's going to close that gap on the softer rubber. The closer he gets, the more slipstream he'll get as well, and I think maybe it's time to start using that overtake for M Short as well. Use it on the straights just to gain him a bit of free time. Short's got a lot of work to do. Try and close down Mejia. Mejia in a very nice P5 at the moment. Of course, last time out was P11 right back of the field. So a very strong race this time around for the Motor Swan driver. Atomic's making it a strong day for Guana Racing as well, which must be said, second and fourth, replicating what McLaren did in Monza just yesterday. Wesley in a very comfortable moment, but he is into the pit lane. He's getting rid of the medium tyres as well. Not a fan of them. I think he'll be going on to the soft tyres as well, onto the Super Softs. For here, he slots himself into P6 and 2.3, probably about 3 seconds behind Shorts as he comes out of the pit lane. So can he close them up? He's on a step softer compound, but I think towards the end they're going to become a little bit more of a handful in comparison to the soft tyres. You see punishing that front left. Shorts was a little bit in there. Something's on the mediums. He looks comfortable at the moment. I have to see how that gap, if that gap can come down. We got yellow flag somewhere on the circuit. Where is that? I think that's a car just there. It seems to tell us not having the best of things down at P11 at the moment. Currently the only driver out of the points. So I think that's me, Fretty in P10. I'll quick look. As he's currently in P10 and he's closing in on Rightly Karma. Both of them having unfortunate sort of starts to this race. Fretty's going to won the first lap and Rightly Karma sort of a couple laps in, having that spin. He was in such a good position, holding on to P6 very, very strongly. But with Fretty just coming out of the pit lane, he's on fresh softs. We've got Wesley into the pit lane, up in third. What tyres is he going on to? Where will he slot out as well? He's moving away. And so Atomic's into the pit lane too. Atomic's getting rid of those medium compound tyres. Will he get out ahead of Shorts? One of the races got a penalty for something. I assume that was at the final corner. He gets out ahead of Shorts. Shorts, of course, has the tyres warmed up. He knows what they feel like at this phase of the race with the cars on this fuel level. Can he close that gap and utilise a bit of slipstream? The battle for P9 still very much on as Fretty starts to close in on Rightly Karma. He's got a fantastic exit of the final corner. It's overtake for both of them. Flicking to the outside is Fretty, who's going to break latest. Downhill's turn number one. It'll be Rightly Karma using overtake to actually stay ahead. Broke the toe and is holding on to that P9 very well at the moment. Getting a penalty. I don't know where that's for. That can't have been the final corner. Fretty looking as that one down the inside. Of course, then that flicks to the outside, and they drop down towards turn number 5. Can he keep ahead? Just about Rightly Karma. Fretty looks to go down the inside. He's thinking he's going to get the position done. Timmy though is he's cutting the grass on the outside there. Keeps it out of the way. They're side by side now. The battle for the. I mean, there's just a 1 point difference between these two places. Fretty on the inside. Rightly Karma on the outside. He hasn't got barely any overtake left to use. He's going to use it though. Actually, Fretty's run out of overtake to use. So that we both should be fighting on pure internal combustion engine power in these last couple of laps. But Ronnie Comer struggling on those tyres. It's softs versus softs, but Ronnie Comer pitted a few laps prior. A bit of a squeeze into the crew crossover, and then down towards turn 9. I think Fretty's going to try and go around the outside. They're still side by side. Fretty though trying to do a bit of a switchback, get the much better exit, and they run now through turn 10, turn 11, and down towards turn number 12. There's a great battle, still separated by just about a tenth of a second. Now down towards turn 12. Ronnie Comer defends on the inside line. That's going to allow Fretty to get a much better exit. He's all over the rear now of Ronnie Comer. He's managed to slot his car ahead as they go towards the final corner. Wants to just about keep ahead, and Ronnie Comer's trying to stay in the slipstream, running a bit wider through that final corner. Into the wall he goes. He's going to be losing time all the way down the straight and using that little bit of overtake he has left. But I think the battle for P9 at the moment is definitely won by Fretty. M Short currently in pit. He's on the back of field but running onto the grass, managing not to lose too much time at the moment. Shorts is closing in onto Tomic, I think, a little bit. Wesley a lonely third at the moment. Broomer and SNJT, I think they're just getting to the flag at this point in the race. They're pretty happy with their first and second. Something's flying at the moment though. Using overtake, maybe trying to do a bit of a faster lap. SNJT is into the pit lane, getting rid of medium tyres. He's got the gap to do it, and it's a bit of a no-brainer for him. Put on some easy tyres to use. Super softs, maybe go for a bit of a fastest lap as well. Mejia not too far behind Shorts, using those super softs. We just think he might be able to do that. Because M Short managed to get past Phil. I think he might have made a small mistake somewhere. Rodney Comer's got back past Fretty. They're flying, these two. They're having a great battle. They're still side by side on the cruise crossover. And Fretty, I think, is just about going to hold on to this position. FLT Manor versus Motor One Racing down in towards turn number 9. Fretty just about holding on at the moment. Ronnie Comer is throwing that Super Formula car, about to try and keep with Fretty. Best overtaking spots, these two seem to be down into turn 1 and turn 5, and they sort of all out. Phil is into the pit lane as well. He's a little bit up the road though. I think he'll be in P8 coming into the race, putting on a set of super soft, maybe trying for a fastest lap in this race. But up to Wesley. Under attack from Atomic a little bit, but of course Wesley just coming to the pit lane, so I think that's why the gap has closed quite a bit. The gap in the front 10 seconds, and he's coming to the pit lane for fresh tyres as well. You got Mejia. Gap to Short's about 1 second. That could develop into something very, very shortly. M Short looking pretty good as well. P7, I think, a bit of no man's land at the moment, especially after Phil came into the pit lane. And Fretty's managed to pull 1.7 second gap to Riley Comer. So I think that battle is very much done for this race. And Riley Comer, those tyres, he's abused them, you could say. I think he'll be in 10th place, picking up that final point position. And who was it before was going for the fastest lap? We've got a yellow flag somewhere. Car has had an off. It's just Timmy cutting the grass on the side of the circuit. I always get a panic when I see yellow flag on GT Sport. Wesley's looking good on the soft tyres. So's Atomic. I think he'll be very happy with a P4 here today. Sort of he set the first lap in that rapid improvement towards the end of qualifying. I think drivers maybe just getting the toe right. Doing it well and finding out where they can maybe just stay flat out, maybe just where they can push that a little bit more, brake a little bit later. Broomer currently in P2, he's on the medium tyres still. Gap 13 seconds behind. He's doing sort of late, he's in the high 44s. He did a 45.7 for the last lap. You got Wesley behind who did a 40.8 and also is sort of in the 42s. I think he's definitely closing in on Broomer, but not by enough. And I think maybe we could be seeing a fastest lap attempt from SMJT. He's using overtake. Full advantage, of course, just coming to pit lane for super soft tyres. He's purple at the moment. He's a second up on. He got pole position, of course, as well. Broomer got past him in the opening couple of stages. He wants the Grand Slam. He wants the hat trick here in say the Sainte-Croix. And towards the line, can SMJT beat that 1 minute 40.5? He was purple in the last sector split, and it's a 1 minute 39.786. It's an 8/10 improvement. He smashed that fastest lap out of the park, and it looks like we could be seeing the hat-trick for SMJT. Not a great race for him in Barcelona, Catalonia, but he's definitely making up here in France. We saw as we start the final lap of the race, though, this clock, we're on lap 23 for our race leader. We can have any battles up and down the field. I think Shorts have just about got enough to hold off Mejia, but you're definitely looking very quick at the moment. Shorts into the wall, though. That's a big hit into the wall, and Mejia manages to get past. Mejia's managed to get past. His damage for Shorts' car, his teammate, 10 seconds behind him. That's late drama in this race, and Emshaw's been closing on massively. Can Emshaw get ahead of his teammate now on this final lap? They're starting the final lap now. Let's see what that gap. The gap's only down to 7.6. It was literally 10 seconds at the other end of the straight. But damage to that front right. I think that's a bit of wheel damage and a bit of front aero damage, but it's fixed itself because there's light damage. Repaired itself after 20 seconds, I believe. So I think Short should be saved. I forgot we were on light damage for a second. But SMJT, he's made his way over the the cruise crossover for the last time. Bruma doing the same. There's the SMJT. With that, he's going to complete the hat trick, it seems. Making his way towards the final corner. He's going to win for the first time this season. And it's a classic SMJT drive in RLH GT Sport. Towards the line he goes, and he will win for the first time in Season 6 in the Super Formulas. I believe, if I'm correct, that is his first Super Formula win in one of the RLH seasons. A very well done to him. Bruma takes P2. So he spent a lot of last season, but managed to get a win just towards the end. Wesley comes around the final corner to finish off our podium and gets a penalty as well. But the Tomic will be P4. Mejia keeps ahead of Shorts. Although Shorts is unfortunate penultimate lap, last corner excursions. But it's going to be a 6th and 7th for Rolson. It'll be interesting what the Constructors' Championship looks like after today. But I mean, there's still decent points for Rolson. So Phil's will come home in P8, his first finish of the season after not racing in Spain. Fretti will be P9, just making his way round the final corner now. Throwing that FLT Malakar in, his teammate getting the victory here today. And he finishes in P9. Riley Karma did his best to hold off Fretti. It was a fascinating battle between the pair of them. He's going to pick up just 1 point for his excursions today. Got 2 points last time out, so not perfect for him. And it's a beautiful spin across the line, almost across the line. There we go. Take P10, and Timmy will be P11, just missing out on the points. He rounds out the order. But it's SMT who takes his first win of the season. And a very strong result, getting the hat trick, and I think he'll be very, very happy with that indeed. And I'll just check the stats. That is SMJT's 3rd hat trick in RLH history, his 31st win on his 99th Grand Prix. So we'll get the top 3 in for a podium interview, and we'll see what their thoughts are of the race. Well, I think we're just waiting for Wesley, and then we'll get started with the interviews, and here he is. A very good race once again. Second round of the Super Formula Pro Series. We'll start with third place Wesley. Quite a lonely race for yourself. Talk us through it.
Yeah, at the start, I had a decent start. I was trying to get past Bruma or Shane, but didn't work out. And after that, I tried to stay with Bruma. I think I overtook him at one point, I'm not sure. But then he got back in front again, and he just walked away. And I was trying to keep up, but I couldn't. And yeah, from there, it was a bit of a lonely race, making sure to protect the undercuts from behind from either Morgan or Atomic, and yeah, after that, happy with the podium.
Yeah, a very strong 15 points, and I think a good step up after 6th place last week.
That was a terrible race. This was quite a bit better.
Yeah, very well done. And Bruma, I mean, a very, very good start. Got yourself up into P1. I think you were sort of clearly sort of second fastest here today. So how was your race?
I got a very good start. Took the lead. Lost the leg on the same lap. I don't remember anymore. Got passed by Wesley as well, but overtook him like almost immediately again, and then it was just going along. I knew from the beginning I wanted to do the one stop, wanted to try it, and yeah, Shane was just too fast today. Well, he always is, but yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I think I'm in the lead now, the championship. I'm not sure, but I think I am.
I think it's close.
Yeah,
I did have a look, but I think it's M Short is 2 points ahead of SMJT, and I think you're very close with that as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy with the race. I took the mediums for like 16 laps, 17 laps, 15 laps, something like that. Yeah, I'm happy.
Yeah, trying the alternate strategy. Of course, it allowed you to get ahead, but I think even towards the end, I think the tyres would have just not been able to live with a fresh set of softs or super softs.
Yeah.
And then finally, SMT, a very strong win, hat trick as well, getting the fastest lap on the penultimate lap. How was the race for you?
Yeah, it was pretty good, to be honest. Obviously, I didn't get as good a start as Bruma did, but once I overtook him from that point, I just kind of kept my head down, stuck to my lap times, and yeah, I was able to pull a decent gap in the first stint, and sort of that kind of left it open for me to kind of do whatever strategy I wanted to do at that point. So I decided to go for the 3-stop, I think, in the end, just because it was the fastest route, really. It was good fun, good race.
Yeah, very strong. And one thing I do want to ask is, I saw last week some drivers just prefer the soft tyre, over the super soft. So you sort of opted for the super soft instead. Do you just prefer it as just like a general race tyre?
Yeah, I think to be honest, with this particular car, there isn't like a big difference in performance between the two compounds. I just kind of go for the super soft just because I know they got a little bit more front end to them. But like otherwise, the preference wise, I guess it's kind of just down to how everybody feels with them, really. So I think initially the softs tend to rotate a bit better on the through the corners, but I prefer the super softs just because they will hook up throughout the whole stint, basically.
French here, and well done on your third hat trick at RLH, and of course I think your next race will be your 100th.
Oh really?
Yeah, I think today was the 99th, so good luck for wherever that's going to be.
Well, thank you.
And I think
so it's only the half of what I've done, Shane. I've done 200.
Whatever.
Thanks everyone for joining me, and see you all next week. I don't actually know where we're going.
I think it's Interlagos.
Interlagos.
Ooh,
my home race. My home race. Yeah.
He is Interlagos as well. Thanks for joining me on the podium, and well done to all three of you today. And good luck for next week.
Thanks,
Ben.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So of course we go to Spa-Francorchamps over the next 3 days for the next round in our F1 league, so make sure to check out that. And of course we're racing next week here with GT Sport with the Super Formula Pro Series as well. So very, very soon for all of that coming up.